Hello, this is Tom Wysocki again. We are in HTM 680 Leading Innovation, and this is the second of my 4 lectures on executing innovation initiatives. By now, you should have read the answers to the first 2 questions of the Dunkin' Donuts case study, and also taken your first shot at answering questions 3 and 4. Today, in this lecture, we're going to prepare you to answer question 5 in the Dunkin' Donuts case study, thinking strategically throughout execution. The first component is organizing your team with all stakeholders. Then you need to understand the system change required to win. We'll explain what a system is and how to change it. We'll paint a clear picture of that future system that you're trying to create, no matter what your innovation initiative is. So, how do we organize our team with all the stakeholders? First step is to create an innovation initiative charter document. I've given you an outline of one both in this presentation, and I've also put the document in the course documents. We'll talk more about this innovation initiative charter in a moment. Second step is present your innovation initiative charter and get approval. It is essential that senior management approve your innovation initiative. And they charter the resources, the team members, and the outcomes. Thirdly, you need to enlist your team members by meeting with them both one-on-one and as a team. This is not your ongoing team meetings. This is upfront enlisting and enrolling team members from different critical functions so that you form your core team and they understand the vision, what you're trying to accomplish, what the end state is, where you're trying to go, and that they are supportive. You have to enroll your team members' support. And finally, you need to conduct ongoing planning and execution meetings. And we'll talk in depth about those meetings in just a moment. First, your charter. This is an outline of a charter. It's a culmination of several different charters that I've put together that has been helpful for me over the years. You can read this at your own leisure, but understand that you need to give an overview, a background, and description of the project. You need to clearly define the end state and how you're going to measure success, what's in scope, what's out of scope, who all the key stakeholders are. Provide a preliminary business case. It won't be your final business case. You'll be updating this throughout the project, but a preliminary business case that includes costs, sales increases, cost reductions, returns, etc. Assess your risk. Put a communication plan together of when and how and what you'll be communicating to each stakeholder group. And then put a timeline together and get this project charter signed off by senior management. So you have your charter, you've got it signed off, you've enrolled your team, now you got to start meeting. And what I would say about meetings is that they suck. More meetings than not are terrible. I've led my share of terrible meetings, but I've also led a lot of good meetings. And online and open meetings enable speed of execution. Whether developing your charter, which we just did, you can use this technique, or the future vision, or action steps, or testing protocols, or you're trying to make decisions just to move the project forward, you can use this online and open meeting approach to advance the initiative. So let me tell you a little bit about what these meetings are. It's really important that they're conducted properly. Make it easy to attend. Make them online. There's all kinds of software out there like GoToMeeting, etc. Make sure all stakeholders attend. Representatives of every stakeholder should be there. Sometimes if it's a major initiative, one of the initiatives we listened to earlier was the Gulf War. There could be 50 or 75 or 100 folks online attending these meetings. Prepare as the leader, providing context for understanding, and then asking open questions. Providing a chat area so that issues Answers to questions, ideas, and concerns can be raised online, typed in. Ignore what you have to ignore. Some things are not going to be germane. Some things are not going to be smart. But tell people what you're going to ignore. Be candid and honest. Summarize what you want to explore further in real time. Take breaks if necessary to provide context for any issue or concern or decision, and then move forward with future questions. Asking follow-up questions to clarify good issues or answers. Move to the next question. Move fast. Drive towards consensus. Never ignore a valid issue or concern or question by attendees. Have team members summarize in real time for attendees, formulate new questions in real time, and keep going. Challenge the team to move fast while taking in all the feedback. Make decisions as quickly as possible and set up for the next meeting. So we have our online and open meeting format. Why is this so critical that we move fast? Well, this chart from the Fast Time book, Winning in Fast Time book, describes it perfectly. Over time, the probability of success goes down dramatically. Time is your enemy when you're executing innovation initiatives. Internal opposition builds, external opposition organizes, competition inserts itself, money gets diverted, the environment can change, and ultimately, you, as the leader of the change, get fired. It is critical that you understand this chart and you understand that time is your enemy. That's why moving fast is so critical. That's why having all the stakeholders, or as many as possible, involved, and having all your meetings conducted in fast time, in a fast time methodology, using open and highly involved and online meetings. One final little technique to grease the skids of these meetings is to make sure you have clear rules of engagement. For example, behave like you own the business. Get issues, concerns out immediately. Debate openly. No holding back. Engage in real time. Meetings should be confidential. Lean towards decisions. If it's high risk, then lean towards testing. If it's low risk, lean towards deciding. Okay, that's an example of a rules engagement for your meetings. You should use the meeting format, open, with and online with all shareholders, to develop your own rules of engagement. The next step, think strategically throughout execution. Understand the system change required to win. Okay, let's talk a little bit about systems. Every system, whether it's a market or an organization or a distribution process or a hotel or a restaurant, every system has these core components. They have leadership, they have processes, they have infrastructure, they have populations, and they have outside agents. Leadership sets the direction. For example, in a hotel, it'd be the GM, maybe the front desk manager, the finance manager, executive chef, etc. That hotel has processes that convert ideas, money, material to goods and services. A process could be taking the guest from when they arrive on the property to their room safely and simply. It could be a cooking process that turns ingredients into plated meals. It could be a guest payment process that turns their agreement to reserve the room into a paid room. Infrastructure has to be in place. It holds the system together. In a hotel, that's the exterior of the facility, the interior, computer systems, distribution systems, etc., etc. And every system has a population. It's classified by function. In a hotel, for example, senior executives, housekeeping, maintenance, food service. And then there's agents, those that execute tasks This is the least critical part for you to worry about. It could be buyers, advertisers, suppliers, security, programmers. It's folks who take direction and execute direction, but they're really not involved in setting direction, and they really don't have to own the outcomes. You need to map this system for any initiative you're leading. Then you got to paint a clear picture of the future system once you know the existing system. Here's an example I'm going to take you through on painting a clear picture of the future system. You do this with your planning team. You use your online meeting technology that we described earlier to do this work. So here's an example issue. We have the wrong number of people on staff at the wrong times, leading to guest service issues. You have the leadership of the store. It could be a franchisee, could be an owner, the store manager, multi-unit manager, a back office system expert. Today, the owner creates standing labor schedules that are rarely changed. We're moving from that to the owner being involved with sales forecast, the store manager being involved in executing the schedule, the multi-unit manager approving the schedule, and the back office expert implementing and training software. Processes, we need to have a process for the availability of staff, for the scheduling of staff, and the on-time arrival and departure of staff. Today, it's the same paper schedule posted each week with little knowledge of availability changes, and at time and attendance, people come and go kind of as they please. 2, the owner publishing the sales forecast in the back office system, staff updating their availability online, the store manager executing a schedule with a back office software, multi-unit manager approving the schedule, staff clocking in and out with manager control of early punches and late punches, and there's a discipline process and policy in place for early, late, and callouts. In terms of the infrastructure, we have policies available for availability communication for the staff. We have software to forecast and to schedule. We have time and attendance systems. So we're going from no availability communication by the staff, no sales forecast software, no time and attendance, to policies are in place, software is implemented, time and attendance is in place. And finally, the population, sales clerks and stockers. Today, population arrives early, late, calls out pretty much at their own whim. Population is really upset that availability is not considered. Population is frustrated about not being scheduled to sales, and they're not being able to satisfy the guest. And we're moving to the population is scheduled to sales, the availability is considered within the policy, more satisfied guests and staff. And clearly, if you were to get all stakeholders involved in your organization and work on a project like this, the from and to would be even more clear. I'm summarizing this due to time constraints. So, our final case study, our assignment. You should have completed questions 3 and 4 today by 8/13/17. I'll get feedback to you by Tuesday. Questions 5 and 6 should be completed by 8/20. Question 7 by 8/27. Again, I'll provide you feedback all along the way. Just one note about grading. If you describe all aspects of execution as described in the lecture with thoughtful responses, then that's a solid B. You need to surprise me with some additional insight, creativity, or research to receive an A. No one should get less than a B if you apply what you learn in the lectures to the case and describe how you would apply what you learned. I just wanted to make a note that I've updated the final case study format. Components 5, 6, and 7, questions 5, 6, and 7 have changed to match up with my lectures. Okay, I really appreciate your attention today. Your assignment after this lecture is obviously to answer question 5. I look forward to getting your answers next Sunday. And again, I'll get you feedback within a couple days. Have a great day. Thank you very much.